than the Dolphins. All right, so Jeezy, this week, Baltimore hosts the New York Football Giants. Let's talk about this game. What can we expect from New York?
A better performance than we saw last week against Cleveland, and that is the one thing that Joe Judge has been impressed by, is how his team has responded when they were down. We probably got a little too down on them early in the season, although if you're a regular viewer of the show, I told you this team was going to be better than they looked early in the season record-wise, and they were playing better than their record indicated. Well, now they got too high after that Seattle game, and Joe Judge had to remind these guys, hey, here's why we were winning, because we were putting in the work and doing everything we needed to do. Well, now that they've been knocked back down, I would expect them to rise up here with Daniel Jones, and yes, I expect Daniel Jones back under center for this team.
You know, it is interesting because you're talking about the offense there. This offense of the Baltimore team has really been firing on all cylinders. They've put up 121 points in their last 3 games, and it seemed like Lamar Jackson was really struggling with some of those COVID issues. But look, when I looked back, he had 100 passer rating and 1 rushing touchdown in 3 straight games. I think the only thing that concerns me is you were referencing that Giants defense against the Seattle Seahawks. They've been very impressive on the road. For whatever reason, they seem to pack their defense. I still anticipate that the Ravens are going to keep rolling here, but I do think that the Giants fan base can at least feel good about where this defense is heading, and if they can just get that offense clicking again. It hasn't helped, obviously, that they haven't had some of their weapons this year. All right, speaking of the AFC North, after 3 straight losses, the Steelers can clinch the division with a win over the Colts. Now, they can also do that with a Browns loss to the Jets, but a Steelers loss and a Browns win means those two play for the division in Week 17. You guys keeping up with me? I feel like we need a flow chart here. Sean, how can the Steelers save their season? And I find it hard to believe that I'm saying that given the way they started this season.
Yeah, Jane, they got to stop sliding down the roof like Santa did the other night. It's time now for a little shop talk presented by Lowe's. And for all you young dads out there, I hope you didn't have to use any power tools putting all your kids' stuff together. It's always easier when it's just a little screwdriver and a hammer, nothing electric. You don't want anything to go haywire like it is done for the Steelers. All right, 3 straight losses after 11-0, and we're talking about can they go 16-0. Let's go into the locker room. Let's bring our tools. Let's bring our table saws. Let's bring our hammers. How are we fixing this team?
You know what, Sean? For me, it's about getting back to the basics, man. I remember watching this Steelers team play my Washington football team, and just the sense of urgency. You just weren't used to seeing Mike Tomlin coach football teams not play with a sense of urgency. You think about when they were 10-0, they were able to run the football. You see all those drops. These are easy passes that these guys made. Big Ben was supposed to be the reason this team took the next step, and it's been a lot of short, quick passes. 1 for 14 when you talk about pushing the ball down the field further than 10 yards. And so there's a lot of mistakes that I feel like this team, if they can get back to the basics, Mike Tomlin put the shoulder pads on these guys. They're doing the little things, but to me, it's an internal problem. I think they still have all the pieces to be a functioning defense and a really explosive offense.
Yeah, no doubt they've got the talent. They just got to put it all together. You know, it's kind of like when you're putting something together for your son or your daughter and things are going along great and you're like, oh, man, this is so easy. And you stop looking at the manual, right? You stop looking at each step. You skip a step and now you got stuff on upside down. You got to backtrack and go all the way back to step number 1 and start over. Yep. That's where the Steelers are right now. All of this offensive play is self-inflicted. The drops, the overthrows. You know, Alejandro Villanueva had a bad day at the office against the Bengals. Those are all things that individually they can absolutely fix. And look, let's be honest, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know that they want to throw the football, and Matt Canada has added all this new bells and whistles. You're the Pittsburgh Steelers. You play great defense, and just like a hammer, everything is a nail. You pound the rock. Get back to that. Hopefully James Conner can add a little life to that, and they can fix their season. This segment was sponsored by Lowe's. D. Hall, great stuff. We're going to send it over to Jane, who hopefully she doesn't have any power tools anywhere near her. We don't want her.
A little cold now. If you're not familiar, what's happening? If you're not familiar with Sir Stats-A-Lot's work, shame on you. Wow, that's a little harsh by whoever wrote this one. Sir Stats has quickly turned into the top football researcher in the country, diving into the data like no one else. Hello, Sir Stats-A-Lot. Glad you're back after a well-deserved week off. Give us your first nugget, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Mike G. Mike G, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, man. Here we go. Listen up. The Bucks have won 2 straight, but we got to talk about their slow starts. They've been outscored 31-0 in the first quarter of the last 4 games. 0 points, 0 big plays. That may work against bad teams, Mike G, but it ain't going to cut it in the playoffs. Tampa Bay.
Ain't going to cut
Tampa
it.
Bay?
Jane, you covered Bucks Falcons last week. What's your biggest concern with Tampa Bay heading into the final 2 weeks of the regular season?
Mike G, I think it's just that. You know, ahead of that one, I actually talked to Tom Brady about that. And he said they needed to come out in the field, they needed to be sharper and eliminate the gray area, and they didn't against the Falcons. This is a team that's pulled off 4 double-digit comebacks, and it's remarkable. When you look at his career, he's had 39 comebacks, 48 game-winning drives, but even as I was talking to Antonio Brown after this one, I said, why do you guys make it so hard on yourselves this season? I think there's something about Tom Brady that likes people counting against him. He likes the fuel, but quit making this so easy. You guys were just talking about it. Sir Stats-A-Lot, you're so right. Playoffs, you're going to be playing better defenses. You can't, and better offenses. You got to come out sharp first.
Yeah, pro tip, Sir Stats-A-Lot is always correct. All right, Sir Stats, give us your second one.
Appreciate it, Mike. Listen, man, DeAngelo, I know me and you play DB, but these wideouts today, ooh-wee. DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, all at the top, behind Kelce, Metcalf, Tyreek Hill, all these wideouts, tight ends. Man, what they gonna do this year, man? Tell me about it.
All right, well, first of all, I'd imagine it's an extreme height advantage for the receiver that lines up against Sir Stats-A-Lot, but he's tough. He hangs in there, and he plays hard-nosed football, and that's why he's effective. That's right. All right, D-Hall, which of those 5 receivers we saw is most important to his team's success?
And look, before anybody starts attacking me on social media, all of these dudes are studs. You can't go wrong with none of them. But when I think about Tyreek Hill and that speed element, and then you pair him with Patrick Mahomes, he's probably the lone reason Travis Kelce is on that list at the tight end position. Because you can't just single cover Tyreek Hill. He just requires so much attention when you think about speed and misdirection and everyone on the team. Nobody wants to be on Tyreek Hill's highlight film. So they understand that deep ball is always on the table. Look at that backflip right there. That man smooth as butter.
It's beautiful. Do not attack him on social media, although if you wanted to, he's at DeAngelo Hall 23. Sir Stats, your third and final nugget, my friend.
Now, a lot of people are sleeping on them guys down in Davie, Florida, the Miami Dolphins. In 2019, they allowed the most points in the league and were tied for 28th in takeaways. But this year, they got the fewest points allowed in every game. Also have most forced turnovers. Put some respect on them, man. Miami, what's up? 305, get live. Hey.
Miami, 305. The 305 is 9-5, holding on to the 7th seed in the AFC. Sean, the most impressive thing about the job Brian Flores has done with the Dolphins is?
Well, Mikey G, Sir Stats-A-Lot just laid it out for y'all to play it out. I mean, they're number 1 in all those categories. That's impressive. And, man, till the break of dawn, ooh, they got it going on. Defensively, the takeaways, yeah, that's impressive. That's coaching. It's not just the interceptions. They're ripping the ball out. So it's all coaching and then execution. But really, the biggest surprise to me is just how great they've been on third down. They are continuing to get offenses off the field. D-Hall will tell you, man, defensively, if we know it's 3 and out, that's a wrap. Man, we are fresh in the fourth quarter, and they're doing it with different coverages, disguising things at the line of scrimmage. This defense has really embraced the philosophy with Brian Flores, and they're executing the X and O's and doing a great job on third down, and that's one of the reasons why they've had so much success.
All right, Sir Stats-A-Lot. I'm sure you got yourself a new calculator or whatever you use to crunch your numbers, my friend.
The new MacBook. You know, I got to get right.
Wow, all right. Hey, big spender. Hey, enjoy it. Thank you very much. I'm sure we're going to see you next week in the new year. All right, the Steelers pity party, 2 T's there, continues. What's worse than the bad puns is how they're playing.